to happen first before it shows up.
Okay.
I don't know why it comes to,
it's live now.
5 times, by the way, 5 emails.
Okay. Well, we're live now.
Good. You're live?
Yes, we're live. Do you want me to?
Mm-hmm.
I can't pose. I don't think I can even pose it.
But then you better start talking. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon. It's 10 to 2 here in the UK, and Kelly is in Atlanta, Georgia. Hi. We're here again for.
I don't think I'm on there though.
Are you not here?
Mm-mm. I don't have the right ability to go in. I'm sorry. It's not giving me the option to go in and join the conversation. Just say that I'll be joining in a minute. That we're having
Kelly will be joining us in a moment. Just a few technicalities here. As you're aware, if anybody's been listening to us for this week, we are new to Hangout, and we're still learning. And this is a bit difficult in how that we access a lot of the applications here. As I said, Kelly will be here with us shortly. I'm Glenda Andrew. Call me Lady G. And I have Lady G Life. And Lady G Life has subsidiaries as Wow Women of Change, where we reach out to women and inspire and empower women from a personal and spiritual perspective, which we call holistic living. Kelly, are you here yet?
Nope.
I think we can still hear you. Well, I can hear you because of Skype. I wonder if that's why. We're still on Skype. Hello, good afternoon. Hi, Kelly, are you here? I don't think Kelly's here yet. Oh, yes, she's coming in now. And thank you, everybody, for being patient with me. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Glenda. Sorry about that. We had some issues. It wouldn't let me join. So
wonderful. Well, it's great to have you here, and
it's very awesome to be here.
It's wonderful. We are expecting Jiten Soni, a great poet, writes quotations. I can't see him here yet. Let me try and send him the invite again, and then we can get started. As we've said before, and let me say a little bit about what we do here. Kelly and I have many conversations over a period of time, and we wanted to share some of the conversations that we've covered. They're very, for me, very interesting in that it's allowed me to look at some of my beliefs, and with a process that Kelly uses and that she shared with me, I've been able to change the perspectives of many areas of my life, and it helps me not just in my personal life, my spiritual life, but also for my business that is fairly new. Kelly, I'd like to introduce you again and ask you to introduce yourself to those who may be listening to our talk.
Well, I'm Kelly Marie, and what the process is a process that I learned from my guides, and it's just a process of how to live more on purpose, um, and a more joyful experience in life. And how do you get there? And so it is a process, it is a journey, one to self-love, one to a more expanded way of being, rather than just moving along in life, but actually allowing yourself to experience all of who you are and going on a journey within, which then shows you who you are, with a more understanding of what's coming up, what am I doing because of what I've learned, and what's coming up because it's more of an expression of who I am. And the idea is to find out who that person is. Who are you really? Who are you on a soul level? What makes you tick? What gives you passion? What inspires you? How can you live in a more joyful state, a more excited state of being, a state of happiness? And how do I not react to the things moving around my world, And it's really when you start working this process and getting rid of the beliefs that keep you from having that experience, then all kinds of things start moving in your life. So it's a way of being more expanded, being more peaceful in your life, being more balanced in your life, aligning with who you are, and allowing yourself to actually honor who you are and being completely who you are without having to be something else for somebody else. And a lot of the times that takes a journey to actually realize and recognize that I have been living based on what society says I should be, and based on what I've learned from my parents or family or a significant other, all kinds of reasons on why we would not honor who we are, but to actually allow yourself the freedom to be yourself. And it's in that place, it's from that centered spot that everything starts happening. So it's a way of living with more intention, creating more exciting and joyful experiences, and staying in alignment with just that. And recognizing that where your thoughts dwell are actually dictating what shows up in your life, rather than it's actually believing is seeing rather than seeing is believing. So that is the process that she speaks of. There's a lot of unfoldings that happen from just taking that self-exploration and actually recognizing the beliefs that are keeping you from experiencing just that. And then as you let them go and as you expand those out, then that's when everything starts shifting. And it's an extraordinary journey. And the idea is to enjoy the journey and the process along the way. One of the best ways, Glenda, and I'm sorry I'm long-winded about this intro, but I just heard one of the most fascinating ways of looking at, because a lot of people want to kind of bypass the work. In other words, that inner work and letting go and that process, and they want to get to the end result. I want to feel good now, and they're very impatient with the journey. The best way I can explain why you want to take it in a very loving way to yourself, and a very, let the stuff come out and deal with it at that moment and feel good about it at the time. It's very much like if you were to show up in a port because you're about to take a cruise and you're really excited about taking this cruise, and you go to this port, and then the conductor of the boat says, well, you're in the space that you want to be at the end of the line. Let's just stop here. Let's go ahead and get off the boat here because you're exactly where you want to end up. And you're like, wait a minute, I want to experience the cruise. Well, it's kind of like that. The cruise is the enjoyable part. The destination isn't important as much as the how did I get there? How did I get to where I am right now? So it'd be like trying to cancel all of that fun out of the way. And this is where I wanted to end up. So I might as well not even get on the boat. You do want to get on the boat because you want to enjoy all those physical experiences that take you on that journey to go. I just thought that was a brilliant way of explaining you want to enjoy the journey and rather than just focusing on the destination, because there's a lot of stuff that shows up during the journey that's extraordinary.
That's wonderful, because what was coming up for me there while you were speaking about the cruise and taking the journey, and we were talking about journeys yesterday, is what's that quote about enjoying the ride? There's a saying, isn't there? You've got to enjoy the ride. And I think sometimes we don't understand that the ride, the ride is what is really good, if you can look at it like that. Yeah. But you're
Yeah.
right that a lot of us just want to, or we see it as the destination. Let's get there. And when I get there,
I'll be happy. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have joy or happiness or whatever it is, or I'll have the money that I need. But we are sort of in that mentality, I guess, where that's how we've been conditioned to live our lives. Even in saving, you're saving your money so that you can spend it at another time, not to spend it now. You know what I mean? It's is that a dichotomy? You know?
Yeah, it's and a lot of people save it because they're expecting something bad to happen later on in life, and so I'm not going to enjoy it now. I have to save. I can't enjoy anything right now because I have to save for the future. This potential that something's going to go wrong and I'm going to need this money. So the idea is to line up with what's going on right now, because if you were ready, vibrationally ready, if your body was allowing and you didn't have the beliefs that were keeping you from it, you would be experiencing that thing that you're wanting right now. But if you're not experiencing it, that means that your body isn't acclimated to it. It isn't aligned with it. It's you have some undoing to do, or there's some movement to take place before you have it show up. It's like um, a marathon runner doesn't just start with taking that competition. He exercises his way and he gets his body in tune to be able to do that. So that's very much the process. Is this is an energetic exercise to get yourself prepared to have that what shows up, to actually be in vibration where that comfortably comes in. So it's kind of the exercise to get yourself in shape energetically to have that experience. Otherwise, you'd be experiencing it right now if it was ready for you.
Yeah, and I have to say that the work is easy, in a sense that it is simple.
It is.
It's not hard,
Yeah.
and it's not difficult, and it's something that we have innate in us. Every single one of us has it within us to do.
Yeah. You came here with everything that you needed. You came here knowing that you'd have the tools that you needed to available to you. Is all it is lining up with that. And not enjoying the journey is that's what you come here to experience, to learn more about who you are, um, to figure out who you are, so all of these experiences that you're going through are showing up for you to do just that, know who you are more. So that is the journey. So a lot of people just say, oh, I will be happy when. The idea is to be okay with right now. And this moment is a good moment. And this moment has everything that I need. And then look at that. And then find your limited beliefs that keep you from having more. and letting those go, and then more can come in. So it's a process of letting go. It's not a process of work per se. The work would be simply to stop trying to control the details, stop resisting this from coming into your spectrum. It's the it's visualizing or being able to see what's standing in your way of having it, because it's already there the moment you think about this thing that you're wanting. And that's what leads from thoughts create things. You create it with your thoughts. Whether you experience or not is based on your beliefs about can you see yourself having it.
Yes.
So all of those things will come up when you make the intent, well, I choose to be happy. Then you can start recognizing what's keeping you from it. And so that's the enlightenment that comes from it. Those who talk about an enlightened journey, a soul's journey, uh, I want to go within. The reason why you're going within is so you can experience happiness, joy, and excitement right now. And the moment you can let this be a process that it will unfold exactly when it needs to, and you get on that vibration, then everything is amazing what shows up. And it shows up perfectly for you to have that experience in. So
And
it begins with that intent.
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people ask, what is it going within? And I'm glad that you said going within is to experience happiness, joy, that unconditional love, now, excitement now. Going within is not meant to be a struggle. It's not meant to be difficult. It is about exploring what is within you. Yeah. And I feel good now, really, because I can smile and say that, and instead of thinking, I know where I've come a long way, in the sense of accepting it is about right here, right now, feeling really good about where I am right now. And last night when we had an event here in Preston,
Hmm.
our women's event last night, and I remember a lady saying about, because I asked, um, what is it that you'd like from an event, like this? Because I do believe that this type of network, I call it a family of women and men, although it's a women's network. Um, it's new. I don't even know how it's going to unfold, but I just know that there's some kind of newness about it. And she was asking about, she'd like to know about how to recognize or find out about what is your purpose. Yeah, and you mentioned that not long ago, um, and I think that's to do with about your purpose and expanding your thoughts that turn into the things that you're passionate about, which creates your purpose. Does that make sense to you?
Well, let's soften that a bit. And a lot of people do. They know, what is my purpose? And they'll seek out psychics or those who they feel are more in tune with guidance and stuff to try to figure out what is it that I'm meant to do, because they know that there's something more. You have intuitively that knowingness that there is something that I'm here for. And everybody has that. And that thing that they're seeking is self-love, the alignment with self, where the thoughts come in. It's that lining up with who am I eternally, because that's that mystery that they're seeking out, is that ability to love the self. It's actually the journey is there's something missing. And even if you're in the happiest relationship, a lot of the times, if you haven't done this alignment with the self and are not content with where you are in life, it generally stems from the fact that you're not loving yourself, because that connection with self is the best love affair you'll ever have. And that's what you're seeking. That's what that loneliness is, that hole or something missing. There's something missing from my life. What is it? Well, for one, that's the love for self is what you're missing and what you're seeking. But two, it's who am I really? Who am I? What does my soul like to experience? Because nobody came here with this grand agenda. Nobody came here with something that they must do. You come here with the intention of creating, with the intention of, I get to create things in physical reality, physical things. I get to express who I am eternally. So that life purpose is actually getting to know who you are and what you're passionate about. And living that, no matter what form that takes. The guides will always say there's nothing that you must do. There's nothing that we must tell you, but we come forward to answer your questions. And we always want to answer your questions. So they're here. They always are guiding us to yourself and who you are. And when you do that inward journey and get out the debris that keeps you from being something that you're not, you'll actually know what you're all about and what makes you tick. And that alignment with self, when you let yourself off the hook and allow yourself to do what it is that you're passionate about, is that alignment with self, is allowing yourself to love yourself, to be able to express that which you are. Not because you have to have money, not because you have to make a living, not because you have to do all of these things. That's not why we came forward. We came forward to love ourselves and to express that which we love. It's that simple. Everybody makes it very complicated. There's this thing that I need to do. And when they have like a near-death experience and they come back and they had that brief encounter with the eternal self, and they felt that unconditional love so strongly that it moved their life in a direction that I know that there's something more. I felt it. And they think that, well, I came back because I'm meant to do something. In a way, that's true. But what actually they felt was that eternal love, that self-love. And they loved it. And that something more is you came back because you chose to come back in physical form to be able to express that love and passion that you are. And because transitioning is a choice. We always have the choice. We're very reassured that you will never die without your permission. You're given opportunities to come back and say, well, do you want to do this non-physical or do you want to do this physical? And if we came back, it's because your soul still wants to have this journey. And sometimes that little near-death experience created that shift that will guide them directly towards that. That's why it occurred, is to kind of push you into now's the time to start going within, because everybody will have that activation point within themselves and when it's time, because we do sometimes choose to go through very turbulent experiences to get to know who we are more, because there's a contrast. You can't know what you love until you experience what you don't love. So a lot of the times when we're going through what we would call very difficult things, that kind of sets up the road to when I get tired enough of experience my limitation, then I will go for the journey of my expansion. And that's where some call it waking up, some call it an awakening within the soul. And that's what this is all about. So those who are choosing, I want to be on this journey, I want to do more, I want to know what my life's all about. Well, that's it in a nutshell. It's your soul is saying, okay, now's the time. So where you are right now is a perfect time. No matter where you started, you don't have to compare yourself. Well, this person knows more than I do on the subject. I'll never catch up with them. But that's not true, because you're exactly where you need to. Your soul is already experiencing what it wanted to learn what it is more. You've just now made the decision, I want to feel good. And that's what begins this journey, is I want to know what this is all about. I know there's more, and I'm going to seek that out. And how you get started with that, how you know what that's all about, is by allowing yourself to look at what's going on. What do I like? What don't I like? And let me allow myself to experience more. I'm going to give myself permission to be who I am, just the way I am, not because somebody's telling me how to be, not because I don't feel like I have enough money to experience things. Right where you are, this moment is the moment where you can have a better experience. And it's letting go of the limitations that's keeping yourself from it. All of that, I can't do this because I don't have money, I don't have the job, I don't have the education, I don't have the friends around me that will guide me in the right direction. All of that is belief systems that you're holding on to that's keeping you from, and I will go so far as to call them almost excuses. This is why I can't be happy. And so we kind of prove that to ourselves because we don't believe it's possible. You don't have to earn it. You automatically, it is your birthright to feel unconditional love for the self. It is your birthright to have any kind of experience that you choose to have. The only thing that's keeping you from it is yourself. And so that's what this process and this journey is all about, going inward and finding those limited beliefs and letting go of those, letting those expand out, and then being in that there is a vibration alignment that takes place with yourself and being your true self that allows that to work perfectly, and there's no resistance to it, then it flows right to you. It is you that's keeping you from knowing what your purpose is because you've never allowed yourself to do that self-exploration. You've given yourself hints here and there. But to answer the question, is there any grand purpose? The guides would say no. What do you want to experience? What are you passionate about? That is the expression of your soul. That which you're excited about is what you're interested in experiencing, and allowing yourself to do that. That is your purpose.
Just taking a breather there.
Do you have questions about that?
Not at the moment.
So it's really simple when you put it down to actually what is it that I'm doing. It's really simple. Letting go of everything that keeps me from believing I have everything that I want to experience. Letting go of any kind of resistance to knowing that this lines up for me. It's fine to see others have it. And that right there is a manifestation. If you can see somebody else with this, that's a manifestation. That is you being able to interpret the energy and see it show up in somebody else is a manifestation. If you want to experience that thing, is let's figure out what's keeping you from experiencing it. So it's getting closer. So all of it's really good. And it's excellent when you realize that there's something more. I want to experience more happiness, more joy right in this moment, not when something changes, but right now. I'm here. I'm on the train. I'm in the captain's chair. I have control over what shows up. I'm going down the right path. Everything is lining up perfectly for me. The only thing that will keep me from experiencing or keeping it a little distant from me is my own belief system. So the moment I start letting go of those, then it'll come right into my spectrum and I'll get to enjoy them. And believing that it's possible for you. And knowing that the universe gives you exactly what you need, exactly what you believe is possible. It will be delivered the moment you let go of any resistance that keeps you from it, or belief system that says, I must do this before I get that. When you soften that up and lighten that up, then everything just shows up. It's very, very cool. A very fun ride when you let it be.
Yeah.
Instead of insisting something must change for me to be happy, change now. Decide that I'm going to be happy now. And then I'm going to see how much things shift in my life, even the people around me, even my job. When you start letting yourself be good in this moment, well, that's the train. You're in the right direction. And even if you say, I can't get there yet, I still don't believe that's possible for me. I don't believe it works like that. Just do it a little bit until you prove to yourself that it does work that way. And then you'll get like, oh, I want to explore more. I want to explore more. I want to feel more. I want to know more about myself. The moment you let yourself take that journey.
Yes, it is that exploration of wanting to seek who and what is within you. For you. you know?
Yeah, it's a very cool process, because the idea that that calling, that thing that's saying there's something more, or I want to know my life's purpose, it's the right time. This is when this journey is starting, because if you were just going about the business of reacting to physical reality, and you can just have that experience. If you want to stay in limitation, that's okay. And you don't need to go running around and have the business of fixing everybody else, because their soul may be wanting to stay in a state of limitation. It's not your job to fix them. Your job is to fix yourself. Your job is to be the best you can be. That's it. That's why you come forward. You don't come forward to fix everybody else. You come forward to heal yourself, to love yourself, to stay in a state of unconditional love for the self. Or you could choose to, your soul could choose to have a limited experience a little bit more, so you can feel friction, so you know more of who you are. So both of those are okay. Both of those are serving a purpose. But what are you choosing? And a lot of people who are wanting to know their soul's purpose are wanting to be a little bit more happy. So we're not saying that you must do this or you must seek joy, because if you feel like staying in a state of limitation, that's fine. We're not going to judge how you experience this, because all of it's good. All of it is serving a purpose. All of the limitation that you're going through is serving a purpose. But what are you wanting to experience would be the first question. What do you want? What do you want to feel?
And that's what you mean, isn't it? That's what we mean. When we ask, what is it you want, is what is it you want to experience? I didn't get that at first, but it was about asking, I'd like to experience such and such.
I want to be happier. I want to do what I came here for. I want more. So far I'm bored with what's going on. I want to experience more fun, more excitement, more exhilaration. And this is a journey to have it right now, right here, right now. And you'll realize that it's not based on conditions. I will be happy when. You can actually be happy right now, right where you're at, with everything, nothing changing. You can be happy. Once you recognize that, once I let myself be happy, then that makes a huge shift, and telling the universe that I'm ready. I'm letting go of limitations that's keeping this from me. And then the universe can change what it's delivering to you, and you can have a more joyful experience.
And allowing the universe to let that be.
Well, here's the key to this is you're always dictating what shows up in your life, always. And that's never failed. You're a great creator. You always have. Whatever has showed up is showed up because of what you believe is possible for you, perfectly, without judgment, unconditionally loving you, sending you exactly what you believe is possible. But now you get to be the recognizer. Wow, I was creating stuff that I didn't really want. I was creating limitations. Well, I don't really want them. And now I get the opportunity to learn how to stay in alignment with what I do want, and not let the limited beliefs keep that from me. This is just a journey to knowing how to navigate through what you're truly wanting.
To navigate.
Yes, you're in the captain's chair. You're calling the shots. You're talking to every cell in your body, and they're listening carefully. By your vibrations, thoughts create things. So when you think about something that you're wanting, you automatically create the energy. But if you don't believe it's possible, then you're automatically creating the resistance that keeps you from experiencing it as well. Your thoughts are dictating what shows up, or what's being created, and your allowance to that energy, or your alignment to that vibration of what you created when you loved it.
So let's go to an expanded thought. What is an expanded thought?
It's where you've had a limited thought. I mean, this is just a general example. Say I want to go on a cruise. We'll use the cruise again. And I don't believe that I have the money to be able to do it, or I can't get time off of work, or I've got too much going on in my life. I can't create the time.
Yeah.
That's the limited thought. Now, the expanded version of that would be, when I say alignment, this is what I want. I really am passionate about wanting to go on a cruise. I know I'm worthy because I know that it will be created. The circumstance will create itself to where I get to experience that cruise because I want it, because I have a passion or something is pulling me to going on a cruise. My guidance is telling me to go on a cruise, that I really enjoy that, and honoring just that. You don't worry about how it comes about or how the time is going to lighten itself up for you to have it. You don't worry about how am I going to get the money to go there. You just get excited about going on a cruise. That's your job. And when you expand the limited perspectives, I know that when I say I can't do it because I don't have the time off, there's resistance. I know when I say I don't have the money, there's more resistance.
Yes.
When I say that I can't do that right now because too much is going on in my life, there's more resistance. And that's why you don't get to experience the cruise. So when you can let and soften those limited beliefs and recognize that you wouldn't be inspired to go on a cruise if it wasn't something your soul wanted to experience. And you are just going to be excited about going on a cruise and know that it's going to show up somehow, some way, some fashion. It's going to work itself out perfectly. You'd be surprised at what moves out of the way. Somehow you will be able to go on that cruise. And it's not our job to figure out how. That's the universe's job. But because you're excited about it, and when you dwell in the energy of being on that cruise, visualize it, feel the vibration of it, and just know that you're going to go. Don't worry about when, how, or how it's going to unfold. Just know that it will, because I'm excited about it. You'd be surprised at how those things line up. And that would be the expanded thought from the limited thought. That's what an expanded belief is, allowing yourself to know that it does work out that way. So I'm going to let go of what I believe is standing in my way and allow myself to know that it can happen. Those are expanding out thoughts.
And what was coming up there was wanting to fix it. You get an idea, say for example, an inspiration. And what a lot of people tend to do is they want to do it. And then they say, I didn't, and it didn't come. And then they go, well, the universe didn't bring me that. Isn't that because they didn't allow and they wanted to fix it themselves, create it?
Yeah, it's kind of not understanding the process of what the mechanics. I like to explain a lot about how it actually works, rather than, we don't want people setting themselves up to, because a lot of the times people hear this, they give it a go, and they believe they've lined up with themselves, oh, if I think about this, I create a vision board around this, but then it didn't come. And so it doesn't work that way. They're allowing themselves proof. See, I knew it wasn't that easy. But it's to not judge when it shows up, because obviously you're not in alignment with it showing up. So there's limited beliefs that needed to be adjusted, and allowing yourself to do that exploration. What is it that's standing in my way of this? What do I really believe about it? Is allowing yourself to, it's not that you failed at it. It's just that you still have limitations and you haven't found them all of the beliefs, that you haven't found all of the resistance. Otherwise it would show up immediately. So if it's not showing up, it's only because there's more beliefs to work on, and allow your reality to reflect what are those limitations, because they will be in your reality. Anytime you have an intention on something, your reality, you can look around, what's going on in my physical life? What do I really believe? And that's why I say be very, very, very honest with yourself, because if you try to just con yourself into thinking that you feel good about it, but you actually believe that it doesn't work like that. Well, if you don't believe it works like that, you're not in alignment with it. You're not in that flow of where that cruise exists. That's like being on channel 42 when you actually want to be on channel 2. The cruise is on channel 2, but you believe that it's not that easy and it can't work that way. That's channel 42's vibration. So they can't line up because you're on the wrong channel. So you got to figure out, what channel am I on? You know, am I allowing the energy to flow on this channel and keeping all the resistance that keeps it from showing up? Is the journey and is the process. So when you know about how it works, it's easier to see what's keeping you from it, if you allow that journey to take place, allowing reality to show you your limitations that keep you from having exactly what you want to. And they will show up. The idea is to look around and see and be willing to say, oh, I caught myself believing that I don't really believe this is possible. Maybe that's what's keeping me from it. And then I'm going to work on that. That's the work. That would be the work. The recognition that there's beliefs coming up, recognizing your resistance to it is the work. And then expanding it out and allowing yourself to move right into believing it.
That's like what happened before when I was talking to you earlier, and I was just telling a story. I'm going to use that example. I'm telling you a story about something that happened in the past. And as I'm telling the story, something comes up that lets me know that is something for me to look at. Like the belief of, for example, like I said earlier, I was asked to make a collection carrying this bucket for charity. Something came up to me and said, I'm not doing this. I wasn't comfortable. Did you let that come up?
Yes, 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 yes. And that came up because of your strong belief that I can't ask anybody for help. If I ask somebody for financial help, then I have failed. And you can't cut off the universe with how it's, if you're asking for money or you want more finances, you want more dollars flowing, you want more abundance in your life. But then you're saying, but I don't want anybody to hand it to me because then I'll feel like, you know, I failed. I'm asking for charity and I don't believe that I'm a charity case. Well, then you're limiting the universe on how it delivers it, aren't you? By your own standards, by your own insistence. But I can't ask for outside help. That's
something's coming up for me now while you said that. Gosh, we always say things. This is why I love our conversations. We live in, and I know, as I'm saying it, I know you're going to say, see, you know, reality. Let me just say it. The reality for many people is we live in a reality that we get given to us. Say, like, for example, you're on benefits, you're on welfare. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You may not like it. Yeah. But it is that kind of mentality that we have because we are getting help. So when we have to go out and ask for help, for whatever reason, we always feel that we're going to be rejected. That's coming up for me right now. Rejection. Wow. The answer is no, which is rejection. You know what I mean? There's my belief. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what's coming up for me now, and I think it's going to be for a lot of people. So maybe you can, or the guides could help us with that about rejection, about, you know, because in expanding our thoughts on things like that, rejection, even in relationships, it is
a fear of rejection. And those are fears that are popping up.
wow.
And when you realize that you're in a state of fear, you're on the opposite of unconditional love, for one, but you don't believe it's possible for you. You fear that something's going to go wrong. And so you won't even ask the question. So it's the fear that's standing in the way. And that's, again, resistance, just like a belief is. Fear is the same thing. I fear, because you have to ask yourself then, what is the fear? What am I afraid of? And basically the answer to that, with often rather than not, when it comes to money, is I fear that I'm not supported. I fear that I'm all on my own. And I believe what I've been taught, that I have to work hard to get something. And I'm afraid of really trusting that the universe works that way because I don't want to disappoint myself. I fear that if I let go, then something's going to go wrong in my life. If I let go of the control, if I let go of the conditions of which I allow things to be created, conditions that I believe are safe, safe choices because I bought into them, like I have to work hard to get money. If I let go of the idea of working hard to get money and just let myself be free, I might die, I might starve, I might be homeless, because we see examples of homeless people. I might wind up like that. I don't want that for myself. So I'm not going to totally let go yet because it doesn't feel safe enough. The new belief isn't safe enough for me to buy into. So I'm going to stay here with my belief that I have because it's more safe to me than the new one. And that's what I mean about building the bridge to the new belief. It has to be stronger than the old belief before you get on that bridge and move to the new belief. Sometimes you can, I really want to believe this. I really want to believe that it works this way, but I still have my doubts. And that's why I say honesty is very important, being able to see the resistance when it comes up, because then you'll notice, oh, this is why I'm not buying into this new belief about it, is because I don't trust it. Because beliefs are only something you're trusting in at any given time. It's something that you're trusting in and relying on. And that's how we've learned to live. You can expand and change those beliefs, though, that let you line in up with exactly what you're wanting to line up with. And so right now, you just totally don't believe that it's that easy. And so you're still staying with your safe beliefs about how one earns money, of what you've learned just a little bit. So there's resistance to totally letting go and trusting that the universe gives you everything that you're wanting, because you haven't quite gotten there yet. There's still more work to be done as far as letting go of those limitations. And when you let go of the limitations as you see them and say, wait a minute, that's nonsensical. The idea of getting a gift from somebody or a donation from somebody, or one could view it as charity, you have obviously learned to look upon charity as a weakness, somebody who needs help, somebody who can't do it on his own. Otherwise, you wouldn't have resistance to it. So those are those beliefs that we have taught ourselves, learned from others to buy into. So you trust that because you learned that. That person who is on welfare is lazy and doesn't work hard. I certainly can't be that because I'm not lazy. I don't want to be considered lazy. There's a lot of beliefs in that one thing. Do you see it? Yeah. I'm worried about what others will think. I'm worried about what I will think. I'm worried about becoming something that I don't want to be. I don't believe that I'm supported by the universe. So I believe something wrong will happen if I allow myself to do that.
And even that being on the benefit or the welfare is wrong. There's a sense of, there's a little bit there, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's your definition of what that means. It's, if you knew that, you know, maybe that's their way of, because they have limited beliefs about money just showing up out of thin air, for example, if they can't get to that belief, then they will create an avenue to have money to be able to do what they want to do. And that's the way they're choosing to have that experience. The fact that welfare even exists is a manifestation.
Wow.
It's a way of getting money without having to work hard for it. So they let themselves off the hook on the working hard for it. And they chose that I can only be on welfare to get the money. You know, there's still some work to be done on letting abundance flow to you. But nonetheless, that entity's experience is, I want to be able to live more freely without having to work so hard. And then they created that manifestation to them. So that's a great manifestation for them. It's a way of getting money and not having to work hard. But there's still beliefs going on. Does that make sense? It's just something for you to look at and go, how are they getting money when they're not working hard? So again, that's serving as a reflection to you. What does that mean? How are they able to do that? But then society puts all these beliefs about it. Then you must be a loser, or, all of these connotations about what it means to be in that position. Well, you get the opportunity of seeing somebody getting money without doing something. That's an interesting idea. It's bringing out, what is it bringing out of you to see somebody on welfare? What are your beliefs about it? So you always look at anything that's showing up as, what does this mean to me personally? You don't look at the person and judge them. You look at, what is that bringing out of me and what do I believe about it? Always ask the question, what is it bringing out of me? Keep the other person out of it, because that's none of your business. The idea that you're looking upon it is a reflection and is serving you, because you get to realize what you believe about that for yourself. And that's where, if you want to call it meat, that's where the meat of all of that is. That's where the real belief systems are lurking. So that's the way you would look upon reality, as you're seeing different people, different situations, hearing different stories, seeing how the government works. What does that mean to me personally, and how do I feel about it? That is that journey inward. And what do I want to experience within all of that? You may say, I don't want to be on welfare. That's not a condition that I want to find myself in, and that's fine. But the fact that they created that condition for themselves is their own creation, is their own manifestation on how they get abundance. And you could say limitation. Allowing it to flow however way it comes to you and not putting any kind of restriction on it is the key. And how can I get myself there? How can I be unconditional within all of this? How can I let go of any resistance about the idea of money come in? See, a lot of people, and this is kind of fun to think about, they keep on thinking, well, I need money, I need money, I need money, I need money. And that's what they want to create more of, is money. Well, what if the financial system fell tomorrow and you've created this abundance of money? Wouldn't it be a more expanded belief to say, I want to be abundant? I want to have everything that I need right now. I don't necessarily need it to come in money. It can come in many, many, many different forms. Whether somebody gives you a gift, whether you get that cruise free, like you win a contest, however it is coming in is the best way for me. But I want to feel abundance coming in my life. I want to be able to do what I want to do. I want to see the energy flow. I want to feel myself get excited about something and know that I'll be able to do just what I want to do. Because whether I want to paint a picture, whether I have the money in my account that I could go out and buy the art tools, whether somebody gives me the art tools, or whether I buy them at a garage sale at a price that I feel really good about, however it gets created that those tools show up for you to be able to do it will get created, as long as I stand out of the way of it showing up. As long as I don't have resistance to it, I'm going to let it just be abundant. It's just going to flow to me. Doesn't matter how it shows up, as long as it shows up so I get to experience it. And I know that the universe has my back. I know that I'm being taken care of and provided for. If I'm excited about it, it's something I can experience, as long as I stand out of resistance to that thing.
Wow, so much was coming up for me then. But I'm good. I'm good. Because, when you were saying about what does it mean to me,
Mm-hmm.
what does it mean to me is there is help, that the universe is supporting and helping me. And things are getting better. And
And to keep it that simple, every day it's getting better and better. Every day I'm letting go of resistance that keeps me from having what I want. As long as it's that simple and easy and effortless, then things line up so wonderfully. But when you try to force the details, try to force the changes, I'm going to force myself to think new thoughts. That forcing puts a lot of friction in that alignment as well. I have to make this happen because that's conditional. I can only be happy when I see this thing show up. Why don't we start with, I feel good right now and everything is working in my direction. Every day more and more. Every day I get to experience new things. And this is a wonderful journey where everything is unfolding perfectly. The moment I think about it, it's all I have to do is stay excited about it. And out of all of the choices that I have, act upon those that I'm excited about the most. When I move on that train, when I get to that place, then everything just starts showing itself to me. And then I start trusting it and I can believe in it more and I can let go of more friction, more resistance. More things will reveal themselves to me that I'm keeping myself from it. And then I'm going to let go of those and those will expand and I get to do more and more of what I want to experience. And all of a sudden, just everything just feels so peaceful and wonderful. And nothing could have changed. In other words, you may be in the same situation that you were when you started the journey, but your attitude about it, your joy for it has changed completely. You're finding yourself on channel 2. And when it shows up, you know it will show up. Just by nothing changing. Change is a constant. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Change is a constant, so that's never really the case. But for example, we're saying that circumstances don't matter. Only your state of being matters. And the word matter really materializes. State of being materializes. And that's the most important thing.
Thank you. Wow.
It's very cool. It's a very excellent journey. And you get so excited when you feel that momentum, that energy, that alignment with yourself, that lining up with the self, that unconditional love for the self just starts moving in because you're allowing yourself to experience more. And that little shift in perspective, that sends so much guidance to you because everything that you want to know is in the energy. All the guidance is in the energy. There is nothing that you can't know, experience, or do because it's all in the energy. And when you let yourself line up with that to which everything is, then everything starts unfolding in the most beautiful way. And the idea is to not insist that something must change for me to be happy. I'm happy now. And then I get to experience more and more and more because inspiration comes from that state of being. I get to know who I am and everything just starts moving.
Wow. Kelly?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you go. I thought I
This
lost
is,
you.
no, but there is a little bit of echo. I think it's gone now. It says meteor showers.
Wow.
But it's an amazing, amazing journey. And because that peacefulness and joy for just being is so worth the time, is so awesome because that is the well-beingness. That is the holistic approach. That is lining up with body, mind, and spirit. That is allowing yourself to feel good and wellness will return. You can't be in a diseased state and feel that holisticness. It kind of lines that imbalance right up. Healing takes place within the body. All kinds of stuff starts moving. You find yourself not getting sick.
Wow.
You find yourself with more energy than you possibly could imagine that you had. You let go of the idea, I'm getting old, I'm not being able to do as much. You'll start realizing, oh my God, I've got an abundance of energy here. And I'm so excited, I can't help but do all of this stuff. It's never too late, and it's never too early.
It's never too late and it's never too early.
This is a perfect moment. Otherwise, you would have been doing it earlier. You have chosen to experience what you experience, and it served you well. And let it be of service to you. Let yourself off the hook on, I have failed or I haven't done something right because I don't feel good right now. So what? It's a good starting place, isn't it? You got some contrast going on. So you'll know exactly how awesome it is to feel really good. So you've given yourself that ability to see how much you appreciate feeling good. So everything in your life, you can say, so what, so what, so what, because it doesn't matter. Only your state of being matters. Everything else that's going on around you, so what? Everything that's happened in your past, so what? You know, you don't have to focus on your future. It's not here yet. So what? When you change this moment, you're actually healing your past as well, but that's another subject. But what I do right now in this moment is the moment that counts. So what? All of this stuff is going on around me. So what? So what? So what? What's important? My state of being is important. My state of being materializes. My state of being is more important than anything else. And this is a good moment.
Wow.
And everything lines up with that. So the more excited you get about it, the more excited that you feel towards wanting to feel that. Well, that brings it towards you because that's the intent, isn't it? I want to feel good. You put that intent out there, and guess what? The universe delivers it to you. What's standing in the way? You. And as long as you get the resistance out of the way, there you go. You lined up with that.
I see.
And then you can always find your way back to that centered spot because you'll have created breadcrumbs that in the most, even if I let myself get out of alignment, I know how to find that eye of the storm, that peaceful place in the middle where nothing is turbulent, everything is perfect. And you'll learn habitually to have new beliefs about it and how it is to feel good even within chaos, because that's where real power of the self comes in. It's really easy to do it with like-minded people, but when you're amongst friction and you can still find that centered place, well, there's power, isn't it? Because then you offer that to everybody else around you and you calm the turbulence and they feel better because of your state of mind.
Wow.
It's very cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
And it's fun and it's easy. It's just a process of letting go. But the idea is no matter what it is right now, is to get excited about feeling better. And that's the perfect place to start. Intend to feel better. Intend to act upon what you want to do. I'm going to allow myself to feel better than I did yesterday. It's that easy. A rebirth, if you will. This time I'm going to do it right. This time I'm going to feel good. I'm tired of feeling bad, so this time I want to feel good. And allow yourself to feel good. And stop making conditions dependent on the feeling good. Because if you have a condition on it, well, you're keeping distance from it to you, so you can't feel it. Because it's conditional. It's not unconditional. I'll feel good when. Well, choose to feel good because you want to feel good. And then the conditions can line up and reach you. But if you say, I can only feel good when I have this thing, well, you're putting distance by your own belief between you and it. Because you're saying, I don't have it now. And now is where everything is happening. So if you don't believe it's happening now, well, you can't get there from there.
Wow.
How can it possibly line up with you if you don't believe it's here? Because by your own validation, let's see the word I'm trying to say, by your own, I'll say command, only because I can't think of another word right now, by your own insistence, that's what I'm looking for, by your own insistence, it's not here. Then you're creating that perfectly. So that should just prove to you what a brilliant creator you are, is because, well, I don't believe it's here yet. This thing that I want to make me happy, I don't have it. And so therefore I'm not happy. Good job. You just created that perfectly. So if you want to do self-mastery, you'll say, wait a minute, that's resistance. And I have to feel good first. Believing is seeing.
Wow.
What society says is seeing is believing is not how the universe works. And that's probably why most of society doesn't see what they want. You have to believe it first, and then you'll see it. You have to align with believing it, trusting it, knowing it, and then it shows up. So how do I get there would be the question. What's keeping me from it would be a more accurate statement on how things actually work rather than what you were taught.
Okay. I'm with you there. I am with you there. I get that. Because a lot of people will focus on the details, the belief. I need this, so I've got
It's
to.
not focusing on them. I mean, because they might not even be aware that they're having those thoughts.
Yeah.
But that's the journey, is doing that inner work. That's what going within actually means, is allowing yourself to recognize what's keeping you from it. What limited beliefs do I actually have that's keeping me from having this thing show up? And it should be very exciting to people to realize that it's not because they don't deserve it. It's not because they're not capable of having it. That should be really exciting, to know that it's you keeping it from you. It's not conditions or what you have now or things that have to be there first. You can have what you want. You really can. That is your birthright. And is all I have to do is let go of the beliefs that keep me from it, and it'll show up? Yes. Yes. And we have lots and lots and lots of beliefs, and there is no end road. This is always going to be an unfolding process because you're always going to get new inspirations. There's always going to be new passions that come in. And so this is more self-mastery. This is more of living with purpose, living on intention, living and having things show up based on you letting go of what keeps you from it. This is you getting to be you and getting to create physical reality. This is you getting to create exactly a life on what is the most enjoyable and exciting for you personally, not what somebody else wants, but what you want. It's very important that you are the focus here, and stop worrying about what others are doing. Get out of their business and get into the business of learning who you are.
Wow.
Because it starts with you. The more you know you. But it's so fun and it's so awesome. And as you see this movement taking place, as you get the validations that it does work this way, then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And every day gets more exciting because new things show up.
Wow.
It's very, very awesome. And then you get into the essence of awesomeness. You start living from there where everything is so good. And then there's going to be moments where you integrate that excitement and it gets peaceful and things slow down. And you get to rest. You get to integrate that energy. And then the new inspirations come in. That's the roller coaster ride that we wanted to ride when we chose to come here in the first place. Heaven on earth.
Wow. Essence of awesomeness. Wow.
It's an essence, isn't it? When you get into that state,
You've gone, Kelly.
there's an energy.
You've gone. Sorry, I didn't get that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I said, yeah, the essence, because it is a state of being. That essence is a vibration, and you're a vibrational match to it. When you get into that state of awesomeness, it is an essence, it's a vibration, it is a tangible reality.
Wow.
It is an alignment with that which is awesome, the essence of awesomeness. And it sounds good.
I love it. I love it. I've never heard that before.
You know what's funny?
What's funny?
It's so funny. And this is just a validation on when I say that when you change your belief systems, then you'll actually hear more. You'll see more. Your eyes will expand. You'll see more opportunities show up. It's not because they were never gone from you from the first place, but it's because you couldn't hear them because of your own loops of thought. When we first met, Glenda, I was talking about nothing but the essence of awesomeness. There was a friend of ours, Charles, if you remember. We were constantly talking about the essence of awesomeness. And what's funny is at that time, the limitations caused you not to even hear that. And now you can hear it because you're there. Isn't that interesting?
Wow, yeah.
But yeah, if you were to talk to Charles and recall the conversation, because he loved it too, so he was saying it all the time because I'd said it to him. It's the essence of awesomeness. And he loved it. And so we were saying it all the time,
I
but
love
you weren't able to hear it at that point. Is that not cool?
Yeah, it keeps going in my head. That's what I keep hearing. I even wrote it down. I thought, oh my gosh. Yeah, I love that. It's like, and it feels it as well. You know, it's
It is. It's a vibration, and you can feel it now. That's why you're hearing it. Whereas before, you weren't lined up with it, and you didn't even hear the words as we were speaking them. That's what limitations and beliefs, limited beliefs do. They stop you from even hearing things. But I can promise you, you were involved in those conversations. That's just how much movement has taken place within you. I think it's awesome.
I think it's awesome because I'm getting goosebumps. You know?
Mm-hmm. But those are even validations of how much you've allowed the friction to leave, and more shows up. You actually hear more, you see more opportunities that were keeping you from even seeing them in your spectrum of where you were vibrating present themselves. It's not that they were never there, they were, but you limit yourself on what you see show up or even hear and what somebody else is saying. It's very fascinating to me. I love this exploration. I find it fascinating. That is very cool.
Yeah, something's just shifted for me. It has. Something's just shifted. And I love it when this happens.
Yes. And it's great to be part of it. And I'm so honored to feel it in you because I can feel your openness more now. So it's very awesome.
Wow. This is
And I love that. I love that feeling. It's awesome.
I can hear you saying drink water. Drink water.
Yes, please. And as you do this and as you're allowing more energy to come through, water is very important to drink more water. Water is the insulator of the energy. So some people will feel tired when they're doing a lot of movement at the beginning as they're integrating more ideas and stuff. They'll feel little aches and pains sometimes, but it's your body acclimating to the energy. So water will soothe that. Warm baths will soothe that. So yes, as you're doing this work, you definitely want to drink more water. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Even some people's nose will start running, and just FYI, you're not getting a cold. It's actually have little magnets in your sinus cavities, and as more energy is being let in, as there's less resistance to it, those get stimulated and your nose will run a little bit. So those are some things that happen as you let more energy in.
Wow.
But they will calm themselves. It won't be for long. But yes, drink more water.
Essence of awesomeness.
Yes.
Mm.
And there's the essence of unconditional love, which is higher than that.
You are. Yeah, we are. Yeah.
But all emotions, gratitude is a state of vibration. Being in a state of gratitude actually expresses out by your own thoughts and dwelling on gratitude. You're actually sending that out, and energies will match it.
I get it now.
There's an awesome, and there's an essence to the state of being that you're in, and that is what's being delivered to you. So if you're in a state of doubt, or if you're in a state of unbelief, well, that's getting sent to you perfectly. You've got the essence of that going on. And it's really cool if people just knew that they are creating perfectly all the time. If they're seeing physical reality going on, they're creating perfectly without exception. Because it's your energy that's letting you see what shows up. It can be no other way. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to have the experience. That's why the guides say, I can't do it for you. Because it's got to be your energy that allows this to show up. So they're just coaxing you to it. The guidance is just coaxing you to let go of the resistance that keeps it from you. That's why they want to come forward and answer the questions. They're coaxing you to yourself. And that's what your soul does, because it has to get through the soul, the higher self. So you're always, always, always being guided to it. The energy of your eternal self. And that's that feeling of loss that those have that are vibrating a little bit lower right now. It's just that they know there's something's missing. That something missing is the alignment with the self. Letting the guidance come in, that connection to self. It's like an umbilical cord in a sense, you to it, and being able to receive that vibration. But your higher self can only go so low vibrationally. And when you're vibrating lower than that, well, you can't hear it. So you feel like you're missing something. You feel like there's a loss somewhere. There's an aloneness to you.
Oh, do you know what just came in for me then while you were saying that? Do you remember the cord of my laptop that went missing? That was the connection there. Do you remember?
You just got the validation on that. Awesome. That's so very cool.
About the cord.
Get symbols. Yes, Glenda, you're very sensitive to symbols. And learning to translate the symbols is really cool.
Because I was asking, this is what's coming. Well, this is what's coming for me now. I was asking for validation in some sense. And the cord of the laptop disappeared. Wow. And that was my sign.
A symbol.
Symbol. That even, and that is my father who had transitioned was here. They're all here.
And you just had to connect the cord.
Yeah.
So you can hear them.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of the times people are expecting like some higher than them or some angelic person with wings to come in and that's the guidance I will trust, because that's what something outside of them. They're waiting for something outside of them to come show them something. When the information is really in that connection to yourself, because that is the guidance that you're needing. That is you connecting to your higher self. That is who is going to guide you on your eternal journey. That's always happening. You lining up with that, then you'll be able to hear it from yourself, and you won't be seeking so much something outside of yourself. The idea is to go within, because that's where all the information is.
And whatever it is you believe is going to create that. And that is still fine. For them.
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of the times it's not going to come in the form of words. Symbols, a lot of the times, are just like that cord. And you to say, why did this happen? Why did I lose my cord? What does that mean to me? That exploration, or that even validation to this moment right here, is showing up for that reason. It's an affirmation from your soul to you that, oh, finally she got it. And you'll feel that validation within your body, because you'll feel like goosebumps or something. And that's that recognition of the soul that's coming on. But it's you lining up with it, it's you. But it comes in many forms. It doesn't just come in words. A lot of the times it's symbol or a song or another person telling you something, all kinds of ways. There's that communication from the soul is. So don't always have that expectation of how your communication is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Because that's how we communicate, we're expressing now. Wow.
Because it's just an interpretation in you. In other words, it's an energy, it's a vibration, just like the ear. How the ear works is that you have tiny hair fibers in your cochlea, and the vibrations come in, and your brain translates it into words. That's what hearing is. And if you didn't know, if you speak in a foreign language, you don't understand what that word means, only because words are just a symbol. We've put a definition on that translation of energy. So we interpret it as a word. You learn that as a little child, but it is still just an energy signal that we're interpreting as a word. Well, other things work very much like that. So energy, it's just an interpretation of energy. And we have several senses that, and a lot more senses than we're aware of, that science has let us believe that there are ways of us interpreting the energy. But they're all symbols, and what definitions you put on those symbols, what translations you have to those energies, are what we go about the business in physical reality is. So a word is just a symbol, just like a chord. The word is just a symbol. It's a translation of a vibration.
Wow.
But you don't have to know all of that right now.
I know. Oh gosh. Wow. Wow. Can you look at the conversation we've had today?
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing how these things come up.
They always do, when you let them. The answers are in the questions. So always ask.
Always ask the question.
Because you will be given the answer. But the idea is to learn how to interpret the answers that are coming. And a lot of people don't recognize that physical reality is sometimes the answer. What's showing up, what's going on around your life. That is something to look at.
So thoughts turn into things.
Yes. It creates an energy, a vibration. When you think something, a brand new thought that you've never had before, that is a brand new energy that will never go away. So as you think about that thought, and sometimes you're like, oh, that's not big of a deal to me. You know, I just thought the thought and it goes away and that's fine. When you get excited about the thought, that builds a momentum. Or if you get afraid of the thought, that also creates a momentum. And there's an attractiveness to it, a vibrational match that's being called forward because of that emotion. So what you think counts, it matters, it materializes. Sometimes, you know, it'll be just a little subtle thought and there'll be some glimpse of it in physical reality. You may not even notice. You may not even see the connection to it. And when you think of a thought or an idea or an inspiration, you get really, really excited about it. There's a lot of momentum. Everyone else has access to that because it creates a magneticness, a pull to it. And the idea sometimes when you get a great idea, a great inspiration, why I want to create this, sometimes that's just planting a seed of inspiration. However, nonetheless, it is the seed of energy. And you plant it and you nurture the idea, you add more to it, you water it, you take care of it, and you let it grow. That's why sometimes things don't show up immediately because they need to grow, just like a plant. You don't plant a rose bush and expect it to bloom that very day. You water it, you nurture it, you give it fertilizer sometimes, you let it go on its growth cycle, and then you'll see the bloom. Ideas are no different than that. the coolest part is to recognize that even like, let's take a pine cone, for example. Each pine cone seed has the potential of an infinite amount of trees, does it not? Because each one is going to produce a lot of seeds, and then you could plant those. So there's an infinite amount of trees that comes from one pine cone. Same thing with the ideas.
Yeah.
Infinite potential in every single moment. Infinite potential. Where what shows up for you is what you believe is possible for you at this time. So that is turning thoughts into things, is letting go. I get inspired about this great idea. I've planted the seed. I've let it grow. I've come up with new ideas to do it. And I can't help myself but act on it. I want to do this thing that I have, and you start doing it. That's how thoughts turn into physical creations. You're creating the energy. You're creating the momentum. You're creating a magnetic pull to it, or a gravity, if you will, to the idea. And it gets so exciting to you because you want to do it, that you do it, and then you get to express it in physical reality. Thoughts create things.
Expression has to come through that.
Thought has to come first.
Mm.
And the beliefs that keep any kind of resistance, or you know this is possible to you, it dictates how it shows up. And sometimes in the discerning of the energy is knowing when to act and when not to act. You wait for that. I can't help myself but do this. And then you know it's at its maturity. That's when the roses bloomed. But if you just get an idea and it's just okay, you know, maybe you want to ponder that idea for some more, add some more details to it, make it more fun, make it more doable, you know. But as long as you have the resistance out of the way, it will show up. And sometimes it's just not ready yet. It just needs to go through a certain growth period. There is a timing. It's not just, you know, there is a co-creative um, factor in this. Energy will be offered to you when it's ready to be done. So the universe puts the divine timing in place on when it should show up, when it's the right time. But it will show up. And as long as you don't stand in the way between it, then you get to experience it. Thoughts do create things. Resistance also is a thought that creates things, and a pushing away of something that you're wanting. And that causes friction. Sometimes that shows up in the physical body when it's chronic enough.
I see. Wow. Kelly, I'm
Yes.
ready for, when I was doing and I think you'd be great to do this because I know you love doing this process. And I was sharing with the group last night um, the breathing exercise,
Hmm.
and I think now would be a great time because I feel that within me. If we could do some of that, are you okay to do some or?
Yeah. In what way do you want to do it? Just as an alignment thing, or do you want to do a journey meditation? What's
With
calling to you?
everything that we spoke about today, I think if we could breathe our way through that right now, to sort of let it flow.
Oh, to integrate the energy?
Well, I sort of feel that it's not moving for me right now. I just, I don't know if you can sense that, but like you sort of like, and I'm getting that. I've got to breathe it. I've got to breathe this.
It's just pretty much, it sounds like it's not breathe it in and out. And just be careful. This is a
You're
great
breaking up.
way, this. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, it was just.
Okay.
I think as you move, I lose you a moment.
I'm sorry. I have to walk around sometimes when I'm doing this stuff, so I have to like pace and stuff sometimes. Just when I'm when I'm being the conduit of the energy, when they're coming through the guides, I tend to just pace around a little bit. So I'm sorry, I apologize.
It's okay. I'm glad I know.
But the two things. Oh, I hope I didn't just. Oh, this is perfect because it was a perfect reminder. A lot of those will hear something like this and they're like, oh, I don't want to lose out on any of this information. I feel like I'm going to forget it. It will come back to you. You will not lose anything. They assure us over and over, you will not lose it. If it's meant for you to hear it again, you will hear it again. Don't get caught up so much on needing to retain everything. And that's one of the things for you is trying to hold on to the information and we don't want you to write it down in concrete because change is always going to happen, right? There's always going to be a more expanded perspective on even these words that we're offering. So it will flow out perfectly what you need. You will never be at a loss for the information because there's always that asking on your part to receive it. So don't worry about losing it. Just be comfortable in the fact that it's coming when you're asking for it, and it always is. So if you need to hear it again, you will. And you might even hear it with more clarity because you've let go of some resistance that keeps you from hearing it and integrating it this moment. But the next moment you hear it and you're understanding it more and more. Well, that's only because you've let go of resistance that keeps you from hearing all of it. So that's why the message, even if you hear it multiple times, you'll get more and more each time you listen to it. So, but the idea is to not try to memorize it. Be where you are right now and hear it. And feel the movement in what moves you at the time of listening. And if you're guided to hear it again, you will, and you'll get more out of it the next time. Or, whether somebody else says it to you later. The idea is to make the intent to feel better. And that is enough to create the momentum where all of the questions will be lined up for you. So, if you will, just relax, close your eyes, and clear your mind. And at this point, I'm going to offer in seeing as if a bucket of golden energy is flowing. It's got the consistency of honey, and letting that flow through the top of your head and feeling that soothing every cell in your body. Just feel it going in your head, filling up all of the space that's in between your cells all lighting up with this golden energy. Feel it going through your head, down your neck, down your shoulders. And I want you to feel it moving down your shoulders, through your elbows, all the way down to your hands, and feeling it even dripping out of your fingertips. And just feeling it just go right into the earth as this energy just flows. There's plenty. There's never a lack of enough. There's always more than enough. So it flows through you. You have what you need, and it's flowing through your fingertips. See it going down your torso, your hips, your legs, your knees, your shins, your ankles, to the bottom of your feet, filling up all of your body with this beautiful, unconditional, loving energy. Then I want you to take a very deep breath in. Feel the momentum as you breathe in, going up your shoulders, up your neck, up your head, to the top of your head, and hold it. And then I want you to exhale, going from the top of your head all the way down your stomach, your solar plexus, your hips, your legs to your feet, and feeling that go out to the bottom of the earth as well. Let it out. So breathing in as deeply as you can, and hold it, hold it, hold it, and let it out. Let it go all the way down your body at the bottom of your feet. And breathe your breath in all the way to the top of your head. Focus on the breath. Focus on how it feels as it's broadening your lungs. And then let it out. Know that what's taking place is an exchange of information. The breathing in and the breathing out. Energy is being offered in your body. It's becoming part of you. And as you release it, it's going out and you're offering it back to the universe. There's this rocking back and forth, this momentum. So breathe all the way in to the top of your head. And let it out. Feel your heart as if it's a vortex, circular motion of energy. For a moment, just focus on the heart. And just feel the energy broaden and actually visualize that circle that you just pictured expanding a little bit bigger. The color of the heart energy, if you see colors, is pink and green. Pink is a higher vibration than green, but some people see either one or a golden energy. Just see that spiral and feel it moving. Feel the love that's being offered to you in this moment. Take a deep breath in. Feel the breath moving all the way to the top of your head. And that golden energy is still pouring into your body. So as you're releasing, it's filling you up. Nothing is missing. You have everything what you need. Breathe out all the way down to the bottom of your feet. You're being supported by the earth. You're having this experience with the earth. You get to walk on it. You get to participate in it. And the energy is always flowing to you. Just feel for a moment of just being and knowing that you exist. You know you exist. I am. Nobody can take that from you. You know you exist. I am a member of a much bigger family of light than I ever realized before. There is so much energy being offered to me in this moment, and I feel more right now. I'm allowing myself to feel more. Take a deep breath in. Let the energy get at the top of the head. Hold it. And let it out all the way down the bottom of your feet. That you are part of this breathing in and breathing out. If it wasn't for you, everything would be off balance. You are needed. You are worthy. You are created in divine perfection of unconditional love. You are vibration. You are energy. You are having a physical expression. You are eternal. And you're having a physical version of that experience right now. And in this moment, everything is exactly as it should be. You are a creator and you are divine perfection. There is nothing missing. There is just the experience of that. You are more. And you get to create more new, brand new, never seen before energies just by thinking of them. I'm a creator. I'm divine perfection. I have everything that I need. And breathe that in all the way to the top of your head and let it out. Know that you're not missing anything. If you have a question, all you have to do is ask. and be receptive enough to hear the information as it comes in. Adjust your vibration and you'll be able to receive it perfectly. You are no different than anybody else. Everybody that you see around you is divine protection, as divine perfection as well. When you judge them, you're judging yourself. As you heal yourself, you're healing them. All past, present, and future can only be lived in this moment. And the better that this moment is, when I allow myself to feel a good moment, that affects every other moment there is. And I'm part of that. And it is happening because of me. I'm the creator. And breathe in deeply, as deep as you can, and hold it and let it out. And let this be a good moment. And when you feel like it, open your eyes.
Wow. Thank you.
Feel good?
Oh, this is a good moment.
And in this good moment, you're offering that out to everybody. It is a good moment.
It is.
And you can have this anytime you choose to. No matter what's happening in your life.
Things are brighter.
More clarity?
Yes. Oh, thank you, Kelly.
You are so welcome.
Oh,
My pleasure.
wonderful.
Do you want to end it for now and maybe have another conversation later? Feels like a good time for a break.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Thank you so much, Kelly.
And for everyone, because I can feel the others, so it's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If there is anybody listening, and as I said yesterday, you can contact Kelly or myself through, I'll give through my email for now, which is ladyg2704@gmail.com. And if there's any questions, you can comment on the videos that are posted on YouTube. Thank you, Kelly, and we'll resume in a few moments.
All right, thank you, Glenda. I'll talk to you soon, and thank you everybody for joining us. It's been amazing, and I love the energy that I feel with this. So everything is working out perfectly. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.